Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Excuse me. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today, doing the what's next on Luis Lopez, the newly crowned IBF Featherweight Champion of the world at 126 pounds. Lopez came out of nowhere. Really not really out of nowhere, but he's been looking really good, and he upset Gabriel, what's that guy's name? The guy from Stockton, undefeated. I'm drawing a blank on his last name. But he got a big win at 130 pounds and then moved back down to 126 and was immediately shot to the pretty much the top spot in the IBF's rankings. And this was a mandatory fight against Josh Warrington. He went in there in Warrington's home country and outworked them. In the first half of the fight, was doing very well, landing good body shots and uppercuts. Warrington really closed the fight strong in the second half, but Lopez had built up a pretty good lead, even though Warrington almost stopped him in the 12th round, as Lopez was pretty tired. But nonetheless, Lopez walks away with a majority decision victory over Warrington and captures his first world title, so congrats to him. But now the big question is, what's next for Luis Lopez following that victory? Well, we start with some of the guys that are out of the top 10, but still, could be potential opponents. You got Kiko Martinez, the former IBF champion. He lost. He got knocked out against Warrington. I don't think Lopez, in his first defense, should take on Kiko, because what's the point? I mean, I don't think anybody would be surprised if he laid Kiko out and, and all that. So he could, I guess, but I think it'd be a bad choice. There are a couple guys. I know Kanshu of China, former champ. I think less likely on this one, because what would be the point? He's also coming off of consecutive losses. And then Joet Gonzalez also dropped out of the top 10. Now, I think this one could be possible if Lopez can't get a bigger opponent, a bigger name opponent for his next, for his first title defense. But because they're both with Top Rank, I definitely think it's a fight that could happen. Just because, Gonzalez, he's lost a couple times. He's actually lost 3 times in the last couple years, but it's been to top-notch competition. Shakur Stevenson, then Emmanuel Navarrete, and then he fought Isaac Dogbe in an eliminator and lost a razor-thin split decision in a fight a lot of people thought he won. So, I definitely think, because he's with Top Rank, that, Lopez and Gonzalez would be a barn burner and a slugfest. And I think, it definitely could be an option. But going through the top 10 now. Number 1, Emmanuel Navarrete. Now, if Navarrete was staying at featherweight, I think it'd be a great choice for a unification bout. But Navarrete has already scheduled his next bout at 130 pounds. And he's not facing what people believe to be a big threat in Englishman Liam Wilson now. He's supposed to fight Oscar Valdez, but Valdez had to pull out with an injury. They're probably going to reschedule that one. That's probably going to be his first title defense, but if he's victorious. But if he beats Liam Wilson, which I think most people feel he will, he's probably going to fight Oscar Valdez and stay at 130 pounds. So as intriguing as a matchup between Navarrete and Lopez would be, and it would be to unify belts, I don't think it's going to happen now, because Navarrete's already committed to 130 pounds for the most part, unless he loses. If he loses, comes back down, he could unify with Lopez, and that would be big. So we'll see what happens after Navarrete fights what's his name? After Navarrete fights Liam Wilson in February. Then number 2 is undefeated WBC champion Ray Vargas. Vargas is moving up to 130, also taking on O'Shaquie Foster next. I don't think he's going to be victorious, but I believe when he moves back down, he's a PBC guy, and he's likely going to fight whoever the number 1 contender is for his WBC belt. So that's what I think Vargas is going to do next. Plus, again, he's a PBC guy working with a top-ranked guy in Lopez. That ain't going to happen. Then you got number 3, Mark Magsayo. Would love to see the matchup, but he's a PBC guy, and he'd be matching up against Lopez, who's a top-ranked guy, so I'm not seeing that. Number 4, Gary Russell Jr., the former longtime champion. PBC guy, bad matchup for Lopez, not going to happen. I don't see it. Number 5 is Brandon Figueroa. Now, this would be a absolute slugfest right here and be fun to watch. But again, Figueroa is a PBC guy, and it looks like his next fight is locked up with Stephen Fulton Jr. for the WBC interim title. Now, it's not a guarantee, but it looks like they're going to be rematching. The WBC ordered it, and for all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like either guy is trying to block it, as they're both of the same promotion. So, Figueroa and Lopez ain't going to happen. Now, Mauricio Lara, I would love to see a showdown between Lopez and Lara. The problem is Lopez is top rank, Lara's with the zone. Excuse me. And I think it's more likely that Lopez fights a guy with top rank, because there are a couple guys out there for him to fight. Then, I got Lopez at number 7. Number 8 is a rematch with Josh Warrington. Not likely to happen, in my opinion. There is no rematch clause in the contract. Warrington's with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, and Lopez is with Top Rank. So I don't see that going down, even though I'd like to see a rematch. First fight was great. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, but I don't think it's going to happen. Then you got Lee Wood, the reigning WBA champion now, in there. I would love to see it, but to unify belts would be big. But Lee Wood being he hasn't fought since he knocked out Michael Conlan last year, and he's probably going to be signing on to fight in the next couple months. I don't think Lopez would be ready after that slugfest he had with Warrington. He's probably a little worn out from that, but also he's with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, so I don't see Wood and Lopez coming together. And then rounding out the top 10, you got Michael Conlan and Isaac Dogboe. I think the Michael Conlan fight, I think Bob Arum wants to get Conlan back in there and get a title around him. He has to go through Lopez, which would be fun, or which would be, would make a lot of sense. It's going to be a tough fight, but I think it's definitely a winnable fight for Conlan, but it's going to be a tough one. But I think Conlan already said he wants a title shot after he fought the same day as Lopez, and I think he wants to jump right back in the mix, because let's be honest here, he did have Lee Wood beat on the scores heading into that 12th round. He just got caught and knocked out, and he's trying to bounce back immediately. I think Bob Arum wants to get a title on Michael Conlan, and this would probably be the best option right now for him. And then finally, Isaac Dogboe. Dogboe, the former 122-pound champion. I absolutely think this is another option that Lopez could take right here. Dogboe is highly rated by the WBO, though, so he's probably going to get a crack at the vacant WBO title. I think he's going to be waiting around for that. But I definitely think because he's with Top Rank, he's an option. So for Luis Lopez, the most viable options, I really think a showdown with Michael Conlan is probably the most likely. Then there's a couple other options, like showdowns with Isaac Dogboe or Joet Gonzalez, all with Top Rank and all solid options. Outside options are showdown with Josh Warrington, or a showdown with Lee Wood or Mauricio Lara, but I'm less likely to believe those because those guys are not with the same promotion, but you never know. Lopez is a new champion. We'll see what he does. That was a big win over Warrington. Congrats to him. And that's what I got. That's the what's next on Luis Alberto Lopez, the newly crowned IBF Featherweight Champion at 126 pounds. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.